There we go. We got through another week, everybody. We did it. We managed to stay amongst the living. What a gift. What a curse. Let's just continue to feel it all. I'm sure you guys out there are feeling so many things. Some of you are very weary, maybe stressed, maybe angry. Others of you might be peaceful, at peace, content, rested. Maybe some of you made out with somebody new this week. Wouldn't that be cool? I'd love to hear about it. And I'm sure some of you are not really sexually fulfilled. And that's okay too, because you know what? Not everybody can be fulfilled all the time. In fact, is life not a constant disappointment? I really am starting to think our duty here on earth might be to figure out simply how to manage disappointment. So that's what we do here on Me Reading Stuff. We manage disappointment, we celebrate failures, and we try to continue to love ourselves and others as much as humanly possible, no matter how much we want to give up. Oh, and hello, we read together. We appreciate the written word. We appreciate prose, language, poetry. We appreciate writers, artists, thinkers. And we have a really interesting read today. So, all that being said, I am Robin O'Neill. As usual, I'm your guide through all of this. Let's go. Oh, I hate where I've decided to record this podcast because I'm extremely comfortable. I'm in the corner of my yarn room, which is upstairs. And you know how the upstairs of old houses, our house is from I can't remember if it's 1917 or 1934 or something like that, but it's been around forever. It's an old farmhouse. And it's not on a farm. I'm assuming at one point it was a farm. But anyway, I have this rocking chair that you guys is so beautiful. In fact, I'm going to remember to, let me write this down. I'm going to take a photo of it. Okay. It is so wonderful. It's very old itself. And it is, so it's on this floor next to the windows where I can see all, you might even have heard it earlier. All these birds are outside. This is one of my bird feeders is kind of near here. And my trees in my front yard that I put in years ago are out here, these Japanese maples that I've talked about. Well, anyway, I'm going to just make this noise right now so you know why I don't like it. This rocking chair, every time I just slightly move, this is what happens. And so, I don't know. I mean, I'm sure you can hear that. But it just makes me really paranoid that you guys are going to think that I'm like passing gas or something, which I assure you I am not. Not that there's anything wrong with that. That's another very human thing. And we celebrate humanity in all of its glories here, but I'm telling you, I'm nervous about it. So I thought maybe I should just tell you guys about it, but I'm so cozy. And that's why I set it up here. Also, I have this ancient, well, it's not ancient. I mean, I'm so hyperbolic. This is an aloe vera plant that is enormous. And I will say it's legitimately enormous. That's not hyperbole. And it is probably 7 years old now. And I love it so much. I'm touching one of its, what do you call them? Fronds? What are the aloe vera petals, leaves? Anyway, I'm touching one of them now. It's just so full. It's just got so much aloe vera juice in it. It's like when you look at it, it almost looks painful the way it's just, this sounds gross, but like bulging out. But that means it's really happy. And I love watching the little ones come in from the top. So anyway, I'm here in my beautiful, this teal green, that doesn't sound like a good color to me, but it is in this material. It's like velvety teal, and the rest, and the rock, that's the cushion and the real nice wood, old rocking chair, old house, old aloe vera plant, newish trees, and a lot of cute birds. And so I'm comfortable as hell. I'm ready to read to you guys, and we're going to do something we haven't done in a while. What I was trying to say, and then I got distracted with myself and this rocking chair conundrum. We are going to read right out of the gate here at minute 5. And I'm so excited about this. Let me put my glasses on and tell you where I found this poem. This is crazy. So I went to a library I had never gone to in the past. I always go to the library nearest to my house because why wouldn't I? I can walk to it and it's cute. But not that I've like checked out every book at the library, but I do think I've seen every book I'm going to want to see at this library because it's really tiny. And I'm trying to not complain about it, but trust me, I feel like complaining about it. So I went to another nearby, not walkable, but nearby library that I've always wanted to go into. Checked out a couple of art books, and inside a book on medieval art, like a big anthology, big old book. I was so happy they had it, and it was a book I've never seen before, and it took me like a couple of weeks to even open it once I got it home. And when I opened it, the first thing I saw was this old, weird piece of paper that looked, I mean, this is perfect for me because it looked like it was on stationery. And it was a poem, and it was dated February 7th, 1958. Sadly or not sadly, I don't know. It's anonymous. There's no name on it. And there's nothing in the library book that points to who it doesn't have those cards anymore where you can see who checked out a library book. That's something I miss a great deal, by the way. And anyway, I love library cards. And, yeah, I'm okay. Back to the book. So I was so moved by this poem. And I'm just going to read it to you because that's going to be our reading today by an anonymous poet from February 7th, 1958, found in a medieval art book at the library. And it's called Fesser, which is spelled F-E-S-E-R. I'm calling it Fesser, but I don't know if it's Feeser or Fesser. I guess it's whatever. Let's just go with Fesser, even though it should have two S's if it's Fesser. And I don't know what that word means. I don't know if that's a person. I haven't looked it up. Let's just read it, and then we'll all look it up in our own time. But let's call it Fesser. Here we go. Weird diamond scraping the floor where the broom sweeps, tears and dead thunder, escaping the traps of fog, blind ambition, destination poison, soften my landing. Abyss and asunder, the fix is in, coughing and laughing, oil on your tongue. Am I wrong to assume the moon's made of paper, the dead masked marauder whose horse not yet tamed, whose son wasn't named, who sits in the gray, whose fines were not paid from the sun's heavy rays? That's it. Okay, Fesser, how good is that? You guys, I'm stunned. I'm stunned that I found this, to me, this is a hit. This is like if I discovered a Beatles song and nobody had ever heard of the Beatles or something. I mean, maybe I'm overstating it, but I don't think so. I mean, just the start, weird diamond scraping the floor. Wow, Fesser. So whoever the human being was who wrote this, wherever you may be, let's see, if it was made in 1958, you could easily still be alive, person out there, and I salute you because this is quite a poem. I mean, destination poison? Oh, my Lord. Okay, I love it so much, and I had a feeling you guys would too. All right, let me take a pause. Let me look at the birds again, and I'm going to get back to you with Answer Corner. Okay, I'll be honest. There's not a lot of questions asked of me anymore. This is not like me complaining or bitching or being a little whiny baby bitch, but I will say I just don't get as many anymore, but I have been over the last few months taking note when I get a random fun question from a listener or somebody who likes my art. And usually it's younger people reaching out, college students and that kind of thing. They'll usually tell me that. I don't just assume that. And so I have some answers for Answer Corner, and then we're going to round it out with some questions for you guys, as always, if you're cool with it, because did I kind of skip Question Corner for a while? Anyway, so I'm going to read to you guys the questions that I've received from people, and I just copied and pasted them into my notes, and I think I've noted everybody's name. If not, I apologize, and I'm just going to pick some at random here, okay? Excuse me for coughing. All right, the first one is from Mia, and Mia asks, as a young artist who's just starting to put my work out there, how do you deal with the fear that your art isn't good enough yet? Like, do you still get imposter syndrome, and what's helped you push through it over the years? Well, let me think about this. I didn't get imposter syndrome when I was young. That's the weird thing, is that before my career started, I was just blindly obsessed with making my work and didn't really even think about it. I, of course, wanted to find success with art, but didn't expect any success. I was just really, truly that obsessed with it. So the imposter syndrome for me came after the fact, like after I'd been established for a decade plus, I would say that's when and actually mainly only recently, as I've gotten older and as Mia, I don't know if you know, I dropped out of the art world for a while, and I didn't think I ever wanted to make art again, and I never saw that coming. So it's a great question. It's just coming at a weird time for me where I'm so discombobulated with my identity in all ways, but in particular as an artist, and my ideals have changed and my boundaries have changed and what my priorities have changed. In other words, for years and years and years, the only priority for me, as sad as this is, were my drawings. That kills me to admit, but I mean, obviously I did but that was my main priority. And I almost can't even blame myself, because I really do have OCD, and I think I was just obsessed without realizing it. And anyway, I'm not really getting to your question. So as a young artist who's just started to put work, how do you deal with the fear that your art isn't good enough yet? Well, I hate to be so blunt, and I know this is easier said than done. Stop feeling that way. I mean, that's a horrible thing to say, and I realize that, like, in most contexts, if you said, hey, this happened to me and I'm sad, I would never say that to you. Like, get over it and just start being happy. That's not what I'm saying. But if you have to feel that it's good enough to put out there. And if you don't, then maybe it's not. Now, does that sound horrible? But what I mean is, keep working. If you're not feeling confident about it deep in your gut, like if you deep in your gut do not feel like the work, let's say you have 4 paintings in your studio right now, and you've worked your ass off on them and you love them. If you're not feeling like, okay, the world needs to see these are necessary to put out there, then I personally, I think that you have to be there when you show those pieces. So number one, you got to get there, if that makes sense. It's more about the studio, like be in the studio, really, really trying to make necessary work. And what does necessary mean? Well, that's different for everybody. But for me, it's like, what can I offer that nobody else can? What is the most me drawing I can make? And the parameters for that are so weird and hard to explain in words, but I know it, again, in a non-language way, in a visual and deep gut and inside my heart way. I hope that makes sense. I sound harsher than I mean. I'm not saying like, you got to be the best or you can't fucking show your work, Mia. That's not what I'm saying at all. I'm saying you've got to, and you've also just got to do it in order to keep experiencing it. Because until you just do it and put the work out there, let's say if you are a little on the fence, like, I don't know if this is really that good, but I worked really hard on it and I have a show coming up. Well, put that work on the walls or put it on the pedestal or however it's shown or in the video projector, and let's see how it goes. And let's talk about it then too. And by the way, I'd be more than happy to see your work, Mia, so send it in. I noticed that there was no attachment, but I would love to see anything you're making, and I am committed to responding to you when you do. So I'm not sure I answered that one the best, but now I'm droning on, Mia, and keep up the good work. You're asking the right questions, and yeah, just keep working, and be really, you kind of have to be hard on yourself. You have to look at everything. You know, one of my friends told me growing up, well, I was in college, and he said, you know, I was always talking about this one room at the nearest museum, at the Dallas Museum of Art. That was the nearest one to our university. And there was this one room, and I think there was a Rothko, a Cy Twombly, a Barnett Newman, and somebody else, and I cannot remember the last person. But it was a room that felt very chapel-like, and there was something huge and major on each of the four walls. And I guess I was just always talking about that room, and he came up with this idea that, like, remove one of the paintings from the wall. And if your piece, like whatever your piece is that you just made, pick a piece in your studio. If it doesn't work, if it doesn't hold its own next to the Rothko, the Newman, and the Cy Twombly, well, we might have a problem. And that was that was so transformative to me, Mia. It really was. It was kind of a crazy, important thought. And from then on, I maybe expected the world of myself too much, you know, but I really will say it's when I started to realize, oh, well, none of this shit is holding a candle to those pieces. And so what was I supposed to expect from that? I'm not going to get a career out of this if it doesn't hold a candle to the greats, you know? And so, and my God, not that even half of my work has, but at least I'm trying, you know, like at least I started to attempt that. So you kind of do have to think big in that way, and not like maniacally narcissistic like that. I hope it doesn't sound like that. It's just it's kind of a reality check. Okay, moving on. Ivy Nakamura asks, when you're in a creative rut or feeling burned out, what are some things that reliably help you get back into flow? Any rituals or mindset shifts that work for you? I love this question, and I love the word flow. Anytime somebody uses that word, I'm psyched. I love to talk about this. So again, not to be bragging about my past, but I never got into a creative rut before, but I did feel burned out constantly, like 100% constantly my whole life. I was probably burned out. And now I have recently gotten to a creative rut when I got really sick in 2023 mentally, you know, and then obviously physically too. But anyway, the things that help me get back into flow are watching in my studio. I always watched certain TV shows. So it's like Dawson's Creek, Beverly Hills 90210, Forensic Files, Unsolved Mysteries, Melrose Place, the show Felicity, and any Lifetime movie. So when I put those back on, and I'm glad you asked this, Ivy, because I got to tell you, I kind of need this. In fact, I'm going to write this down. I'm just going to write the word Felicity because I want to re-watch that. And I need to do that. Anyway, so I put those back on in the studio and I just set up shop to work. And when a show that has proven itself to be good for background noise in my studio is back on, I get immediately taken back, almost in the way that a smell can take you back to your childhood or whatever. And honestly, it works like a charm. Also, like drinking the same liquids, like I remember certain teas, certain brands of coffee that I have ingested or whatever back when I was really into a flow state and just nonstop able to work with no distraction. Just tasting that same tea again, or like I used to get when my stomach was bad, I wanted coffee, but I couldn't have coffee. And I used to get these soy steamers and this was a long time ago when soy milk was still cool, at this coffee shop nearby my old house in Texas. And I would bring them home, and that would be my special treat for afternoon working. And anytime I have something like that, it takes me back there. Anytime I hear the annoying Dawson's Creek theme song that I've always hated, takes me back there and I'm able to work. And again, the reason I wrote this down is I thank you, Ivy, because I need this right now. I need to get back into flow because I'm trying to do too much other stuff right now. Like I'm trying to be perfect laundry person, perfect. I want to even dress really well every day. Like, hello, I'm an artist and nobody sees me. Why would I dress really well every day? That's ridiculous. That's a ridiculous thought. I mean, it's a lot to expect when I have other priorities, right? Like, do I really need to do my hair cute every day? I can't do it all. So I need to just put on Dawson's Creek, put on Felicity, put on Unsolved Mysteries, and get my ass in gear. Thank you, Ivy. Okay, next question, and this is taking longer, so we're gonna do this. This is gonna be the last one, and it says from Kai Thompson: if you could have dinner with any three artists, dead or alive, who would they be and why? Well, you know what? This is kind of weird because I just recently, sorry, I got distracted. I just recently got this question for some interview, and I thought really hard about this. Or it was actually about what three female artists, dead or alive, would you like to have dinner with? And I know I said Louise Nevelson, Louise Bourgeois, and then I cannot remember who else I said. But anyway, it was like pulling teeth for me to come up with an answer. And I got to be honest, and this is all respect to all you artists out there, I wish you would ask me what three actors, alive or dead. I wish you would ask me what three writers, alive or dead. I wish you would ask me what three directors, alive or dead, male, female, or otherwise. I don't think I really want to have dinner with three artists. I don't mean that as a diss either. It's just my reality. Like teen stars from the 90s, count me in. Let's bring them all in. Or I don't even know. Yeah, like people profiled on Unsolved Mysteries. Yes, I would like to meet with every single one of them. I think that I'm so sick of myself most of the time that it's just not really in my nature to want to be around a bunch of people like me. I don't even talk about art all that much. And maybe, if I had reassurance that all of these three artists were not going to talk about art, then I'd probably be game. If we were going to just talk about food, me and the other three artists, then I would do that. Or if we're going to talk about movies, great. But I assume, Kai, that you mean something about, this like, well, maybe you don't. Maybe you mean just be natural. And then I have a million probably artists I'd like to talk with. But my answer to you is truly, I would rather not. I would rather have dinner with a lot of other people than artists. I would rather have dinner with like 5 random neighbors in my neighborhood that I've never met. Well, maybe not, because then I'd have to be friends with them, and that would be weird. Or like 3 random grocery store checkers. Honestly, that would be way more fascinating to me. Does that make sense? So I'm going to keep thinking about it, and we're going to do more questions. And Kai, if I come up with the 3 artists who I want to talk about breakfast foods with, well, guess what? I'm going to write a note right here on the notepad that I opened up. I'll say Robin, Pick 3, bitch. Okay? All right. I actually wrote that. Okay, guys. Give me 1 second to recalibrate. We'll be right back. Okay, we're back, and I want to ask you guys some questions because I do feel I've been holding back on Question Corner. Here we go. It's Question Corner, everybody. All right. I brought this up earlier when I was thinking about the TV shows and how they kind of feel in my studio the way that smells take you back to your childhood. What's a smell that instantly takes you back to your childhood? For me, it's actually pencil shavings. And I just love that smell so much. So luckily I now use actual pencils because I used to only use a mechanical pencil. And when I am sharpening those pencils in my studio, oh, it takes me back and I love it. So what's your smell that takes you back? I guess positively, I mean, like we can all have bad smells too that take us back, but I'd love to hear something that takes you back in a nice, comforting way. I'm imagining some of you are going to say like muffins baking in the oven or something. Or does that sound too much like the 1950s? Or I don't know. I can't wait to hear your answers on that one. So send them in. info@robinoneal.com. And by the way, you know what? Let me just say this. You guys, thank you for being here. Thank you for following this podcast. And if you're not following it officially, like hit the follow or subscribe button, whatever it's called. And if you can, write me a review on Apple Podcasts. Again, not sure if they do that on Spotify, but those are my main 2 places you guys listen. It's been a long time since I asked for this, but I would just love it if you guys would share this podcast with somebody you think who would like it. You know, most of us listen to podcasts these days, and my podcast is a very underground type of deal. And it's sometimes embarrassing to me how little listenership that I really do have. But then I quickly jump out of that mindset and just go, oh my Lord, I'm so excited about the listeners I do have. You know, I feel like I've got the best listeners that any podcast could ever dream of. And Damien always says that too. When I tell him anything about you guys, or if you guys send me presents and stuff, he's like, God, you've got the best listeners. And anyway, I'm very honored, and I normally don't ask anything of you guys, but I really would like to share this podcast with more people. So if anybody wants to share it with their friends or tell me good ways that I can share it with new people, I would really appreciate that. Anyway, back to Question Corner. Okay. Yeah. I know one. Did I already say this? What's the best thing you've done for yourself this month? I feel like I just said that. Anyway, okay, let me think of something else. What is the most unexpected compliment you've ever received that makes you feel good? Like, one of those times when somebody at the store complimented you. Some of you don't like that. Like, some of you guys don't talk to strangers. I talk to every stranger I see, unfortunately. And I love it when I get a compliment from a stranger, and I don't get them that often. I swear, moving to Washington State, nobody gives compliments up here. It is so rare to get a compliment. I give compliments all the time because remember my attitude. Everybody remember this. If you have a compliment for somebody, just give it to them, because whether they know it or not, we all need that kind of appreciation. And for me, it's like, if I love this guy's fucking killer hat on his head, I am not just gonna, and I'm standing next to him for 10 minutes waiting in line somewhere, I'm going to choose the right appropriate time. Like when he's about to leave, like, hey, real quick, love your hat. Just say it. I don't understand people who don't give the compliments that they're thinking of in their heads. I don't understand it, and I never will. So anyway, what's your favorite compliment you've gotten from a random person in the world? I don't know. I think mine is, in some fast food drive-through line, I got this 2 different times in a row at 2 different fast food restaurants. That tells you how many times I go to fast food and in the drive-through. But, because you're talking to them through the, whatever that's called. I can't think of the word for that, the speaker thing. And so they hear you first. And when I then drove up to meet them and pay them or whatever, this happened like in 1 month time span. Then there was a guy and there was a girl, and they both said, are you a sportscaster? And I was like, Yes, I am, because that was the coolest. I go, wow, no, what made you say that? They're like, you just sound like somebody I've heard on, you know, you know, talking on the radio or talking about sports on ESPN. I can't remember how they worded it, but they just thought I was a sportscaster. And honest to God, if I could go back and change everything, I think I would go into broadcasting rather than art. I know. Sorry, all of you guys. Sorry. I just think that that's more what I was probably meant to do. I think it would have been easier on my mentals. And sadly, I got into a pretty tough field. I really did. And to any of us out there who got into this field with slight regret, I sound like a smoker. I swear to you, I'm not smoking. Anyway, I say that both serious and in jest. But anyway, so what was yours? And keep giving each other compliments, for God's sake. Closing this one out, please follow me on Instagram. I've been much more active on there. Hopefully not to the point of being annoying, but I am honestly having fun sharing things and talking on there again. So check me out over there. The handle is Robyn, spelled with a Y, ROBYN_ONEIL. Hit me up, and thank you to Laura, my friend, for helping me get inspired to be back on Instagram. Is that a weird thing to celebrate, like being on Instagram? It is, because I always had a healthy relationship with Instagram, honestly. And then all hell broke loose. Anyway, also, I'm going to have some really fun announcements soon related to my career as a broadcaster. Just kidding. As an artist. My art life is kind of cooking again. Not on high temp, not in a pizza oven, not in a coal oven. Or is a coal oven hot too? Anyway, just kind of a slow simmer. My art career is much more about the slow cooker right now. But at least there's something cooking. So stay tuned for those announcements soon. And also the deadline I gave myself for my new website, because, oh my God, I have never been more sick of my website as I am right now. I have to get a new website up. You should see me. I've got my hand up on my forehead right now. There's something in me that's like, I cannot deal with this another day, but it's a lot of work. So on May 15th, I believe it's a Friday or a Monday, I can't remember, and I'm holding myself to it. May 15th is the deadline, and I'm so excited to share it with you. I've been working so hard on it. I don't think I've ever worked harder on anything. And I also don't think anything. What I mean by that is I've done a lot of hard work in my life. I have never had a more difficult time learning something as I have this. This is just the things my brain is suited to. This is not in that section. Website building and Photoshop and cropping, and I cannot. I am having the hardest time, but it's so good to learn new things. So. But speaking of flow states earlier, I have definitely been in a flow state with my website, except for Sundays. Then I kind of take a break from it. But I've been working on it, except for Sundays, at least 3 to 4 hours every single day. I hold myself to it. So the last thing on earth I want to be doing, do you think I want to draw more? Yeah, I want to be drawing and watching Felicity and having fun and tuning out the world, but I've got to do my website. Anyway. I just keep talking. I keep thinking I'm going to do a 5-minute podcast. What is wrong with me? I wish you guys nothing but love and health. I wish you guys could see yourself the way those who love you see you. I wish that for myself too. I wish you minimal pain and discomfort and disappointment. Minimal disappointment. It sounded like I wished you disappointment. But I mean, would that be so wrong? As we stated in the beginning, life is all about managing disappointments. But no, I wish you minimal disappointment. I wish for you to be nourished with wonderful foods and to be able to take care of your bills without too much anxiety. We all have anxiety surrounding that right now. This is an insane time. This is kind of a horrible time. I can't believe we're living through this time, but God, I wish things would ease up for you. And I want you, when you eat those good foods, I want your stomach to never be upset. For those of you who want it, yeah, I want you to have a great sex life, a fulfilling sex life. And for those of you who don't even fucking care about that at all, I just love you. That's all for this week's Me Reading Stuff. I hope you loved the anonymous poem Fesser today. Share that one with a friend and have a good night's sleep whenever you do get some rest. We shall find peace. We shall hear angels. We shall see the sky sparkling with diamonds. That line is from Anton Chekhov. My name is Robin O'Neill. I love you guys. Good night. Goodbye. Farewell.